I'm so excited to show you what we found on this trip to the thrift shop. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I should have known it was going to be good when I saw these cast iron piggy banks. I'm sure they were reproductions. Doesn't matter because they weren't in my budget, but they're fun to look at, and I love it when there's fun stuff to look at. I did not know that there was a berry loving baby Smurf doll that eats. Somehow I missed that in my childhood. This is the kind of table I want, but that one definitely is not in my budget. And neither is this couch or end table, but I sure like the style. It took me a couple of minutes to decide that this cute little house is probably a cover for your toaster because it opens from the bottom, and the only thing I can think of that would be the right size is a toaster. Let me know if you have a different idea. And this is what I was most excited to show you. These are unfinished quilt tops. I didn't count. I didn't have the heart to count because there are so many of them. And they were, as briefly as I looked at them, they appeared to be pressed and well made, and the fabrics were pretty, and I rarely get upset about the handmade things that find their ways into the thrift store, but I really wish that these had been donated somewhere else. You can see, I think these are maybe the backing fabrics intermixed with the quilt tops, and of course they're priced separately because let's put them even farther out of financial reach of someone who could have finished them or done something with them. I don't know if a quilter passed away, or maybe a quilter took a realistic look at her closet and her projects and decided to hand them off herself. It's none of my business. This one with those fabrics, that one is my favorite. I wish I could have rescued it. I am part of a quilting group that makes quilts we pass on then to kids in foster care and just all sorts of different charities. They wanted $19.95 for the unfinished quilt top, which, yes, a lot of fabric went into it. Yes, a lot of work went into it, but for someone else to be able to buy it and finish it, I worry about what will happen to these quilts. And I wish they had been donated to an organization that makes quilts because I think they might have reached a better ending that way. More and more lately, I'm thinking about what is the best place to donate a specific item because sometimes it's maybe not the thrift store or not that particular thrift store. And if you're donating it to a charity that makes quilts for organizations, you're still going to get the tax write-off. So just food for thought, I guess. And I am so curious about what the backstory to all of these must have been because there were a lot of quilt tops there. You can't convince me they didn't come from the same quilter. Because in all my years of shopping at this store, I have never seen even one quilt top, let alone that many. Sewing machines, and you would assume that where there was a quilter making a big donation, there might have been fabric, but in my quick glance, I didn't see any. I also didn't dig through everything because I don't need to buy any fabric today. Do you see what caught my eye there? We'll get back to it in just a second, but first we've got this birthday cake circus game of party favors. It looks vintage to me. Maybe I'm wrong. And it says there are cards, so for each person who draws a card, they get the favor that matches that card, and then one of the cards gets the recipient an extra piece of birthday cake. It looks cute and fun, and actually by the price on it, that can't be as vintage as I thought from the packaging that it would be. So I was wrong there. Of course, it's all taped up, so you can't see what it actually is. There could be anything in that box. And here's the thing I told you to look for. Do you see it yet? That right there is a Mill Hill button and beaded kit. It's a cute one. And I looked inside it. It does have the chart, the threads, the charm, everything. There was some other floss in a package there. That's an old candlewick pillowcase kit. Didn't need that. And there is another little tiny kit hiding there. I always get a bit of a thrill when I see floss peeking through fabric. Now, explain to me how that little teeny ornament kit is 99 cents. The Mill Hill kit is $1.99. And that says Crafter's Square, so is it Dollar Tree? If you understand this bench, please explain it to me, because I've never seen a bench that opens like a bread box before. The only thing I can think is that it's a gossip bench, but I've never seen one that style, and I'm super curious. My son brought me over here to ask me what this piece of furniture was, and yeah, I didn't see the cornucopia, which he had relocated from the other end of the store. The more I think about it, the more I want a rooster standing in front of a full moon, because that thing is awesome. And if you can satisfy my curiosity by telling me what this thing is, please do, because it looks like a wooden shoe with a handle strapped to it, and I am confused about that. I lost my train of thought there completely and totally. This was a pottery vase. It is definitely something. And I am so tempted to start collecting vintage stuff with spinning wheels on it. Sooner or later I will. You just wait. Here's a Pyrex Hurry candle. And it doesn't come with the candle. It's just the dome and the base. So I'm not sure why we would or wouldn't need one of those. Obviously, I don't think we need one of those because I left it right there in the store. This is the most fun I have had looking around the thrift store in quite a while. There was interesting stuff to film and tell you about, and again, I am bewildered by this angel that barely looks like an angel. I do not understand the thought process behind that. Here's a whole mountainside of little resin houses. I bet that was a fountain originally, or still is a fountain. Don't know if it would work or not. Here is a fun old vintage cookie jar. That style is calling to me more and more. I have a cookie jar. And here's a teapot that I know that is supposed to be a sewing machine. I don't know how much less it could look like a sewing machine. Apologies if you have one in your collection and love it, but I don't get the appeal. I think that is a little milk glass candy dish hiding back there. And I think this is milk glass, but I've really got to educate myself on what the difference is between milk glass and glazed ceramic. I know there is one, and sometimes I know it when I see it, and sometimes I am not quite as sure. I know there's got to be a YouTube video somewhere that will explain the difference to me, and I know there is a trick with a flashlight. That I am sure is milk glass. There was actually a fair amount of stuff scattered on this shelf that I think is milk glass, and a few things that I know aren't milk glass. That one again, I think is. I really need to do some research because suddenly it has become important to me to tell the difference, and I don't know why. That's not milk glass. I know that much. Thanks for thrifting with me. Let me know, is there anything here that caught your eye? Would you have been tempted by the quilt tops? I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I'll be back thrifting with you soon.